Welcome at Ask the Professor. This is really the first time we see each other again in the course with capacity and operations. So I really enjoy that you are already there, and we have still the opportunity to see each other online, of course, but not in the real infra operations or in daily operations with trains. We have problems in Holland. I am not allowed to go outside or go in track and to do these interviews or go to assets and explain more in detail. But now I have to stay in the park, and why not? This is also convenient to see each other, because we need each other, and therefore we need these questions from you as a student, and I think that's exactly what I need. It was a little poor this time, not much questions, but I will do my best to give answers. But I try to push you to go on and use the forum when you have problems, even if it's a small idea or problem you see in your own country. Please share it with others, because every country or every nation has its own constraints, and that's really educational to learn what are the constraints and how we do the things we do in the daily work. And I think that's exactly what we use, and that's what was all the benefits when we do this worldwide, because everywhere they have some difficulties or different problems, and we can learn from each other. So please send in your comments, upload your ideas, use the forum. We will come back to you during these 6 weeks, so feel free and ask. So a discussion on the forum about what is the best way, or what is easy, and why we do it. It's about the public transport, public investments and public infrastructures and rolling stock, and against we have markets, of course, and business cases and the real world, you could say. So there is always a tension, because when you look in the history how this railway or railroads exist, and that was because of the past and in the history, and it's a lot and very costly to invest in this kind of kind of mobility, because you have to make this infrastructure kilometers long through the whole nation. How to do it, a lot of other stakeholders can give problems or are not willing to share or to sell their properties to put on this infra, etc., etc. So I think it's why we have this as we have. It's because it is nationwide and we need big amounts of money, and therefore mostly it's the government who invests. That's what we see, for example, here in Europe. But I'm really always really excited when I go, for example, to a conference in America, when they also not only exchange the innovations on technical view or other innovations, but also they talk about investments. And that's really new also for me, that we don't do this, for example, in Europe, when they use public money, but also they invest by companies. And there you see, especially the freight operators, mostly it is private owned. And then you really learn about business cases, how and why you invest, for example, and why should you paint a station. While, paint, it costs a lot of money, while you could say, okay, let it go, and it will, will rotten away within 100 years, but that's no problem, because paint you have to pay. I really appreciate this fresh look when you look at the efficiency and investments and why you are doing these investments. And I think that's exactly what we need, how to use these investments, make the business case also here in Europe. And that's what I miss. And I think that's exactly what we keep on focus on, and keep fresh, with a fresh look to the full system. And that's exactly what we need to find the real reasons why we do what we do. And I think this can be used and combined also in this course, and let's see how we can use and get this information and get this knowledge together. Good luck. So a nice discussion about the last mile and what and how we are doing it as it is today. And you see there's a lot changing in that area, because in the old days we said, okay, we have public transport, and then you have the train is stopping, or the tram or metro, and then you get out, and then it's goodbye, more or less. That was what happened in the past. And then you have to find your own way to go from A to B. What is your journey as planned? And you have to do it a lot yourself. Now we have a change into mobility as a service. That's one part. And also you see a lot of new types of last mile possibilities, like the e-bike, like the electric scooter or whatever. One wheels, you see a lot of new things are there to get this last mile done. And you see there's a really big market also ongoing, not only in the public transport. For example, in Holland you see also the green e-bikes and the public waste. You can also use these scooters to hire just for one ride. And I think that's really new, and there is a need, you could say, because otherwise the market will not invest. And that's strange that the market see this gap, while you see in the public transport they only talk about railroads or railways, tram, metro, as it is for 100 years. And that's a question mark. How is it possible that this is now popping up, and this market is just jumping in this hole or this gap of service? And that's a real question. How can we change this? And also, how can we use the opportunity? And what we do in Holland, for example, we try with the Twizy. That's a very small one-person car. It's full electric. It's on with the battery. Very easy going, low investments. And why not use these Twizy cars, for example, drive automatically from one side to another, starting from the station to your final destination, for example, and then when the car is done, go home, or the car is going to the station again, and go for the next passenger. And the benefit is, it's an electric car, so you can recharge the battery, and you use the brake energy from the train, and you put this brake energy into the battery. Why not? So that a lot of changes are coming up. It will happen, and it will take some time, but don't worry, we are in the right stage, because this transition of energy, we are just in the middle, so enjoy it. Another discussion was really nice, because that's about how can we use other ways than just the airplane from capital city to another capital city, for example. Here in Europe, it looks like we have long distances, but for example, for Amsterdam to London or Amsterdam to Berlin, it's just, 1 hour of flight by an aircraft, not more than that. So why do we use the airplane? Because you have to check in, you have to wait, you have to go in, and all this kind of, when you make this summation of time, it's a lot, just for a few minutes of flight, and then you're there. But what about the pollution? What about the CO2 footprint? It's not so nice, everybody knows. So why not use high-speed trains and go by train? Then you get a lot of mixed opinions. A lot of people everybody has his own opinion about this, but I think it's always a balance. What do you like as a passenger? What do you prefer? I like to go by train from Amsterdam to Paris. It's high speed, it's very convenient. You have internet, also nice. You can have phone calls. So I can work in a nice environment. I can go to the restaurant if I like. I can have a business talk, whatever. Everything is possible in this train. When you use the airplane, you are packed like this. We have also COVID over there. So what is the difference with the train and in COVID period? So I think there is not much difference in service, but there is more service on the train because you have restaurant, internet, etc. What about the cost, you would say? And I fully agree, because a train ticket is more costly than the airplane. But we have this COVID period, and I believe that after this COVID period, the flight tickets, the airplane tickets, would be much higher than we get used before. And I think that should be a game changer. And let's see what happens after this period. And I think the prices of the airplanes would be different, or there will be not so much connections anymore as it is in the past. So maybe that could change, this parameter could change the rule, and let's see what happens. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed my suggestions, ideas. Really use the forum, don't be shy, just put your computer, ask when you have a question, upload a case you have questions about, or you like to share some nice ideas or just some nice knowledge you experience in your own daily work or in your own country. Everything is fine, and I think when we share this with each other, it really can be valuable, because everybody is coming from another country, and when you see these different ways of thinking, you can learn always, and you get fresh in your mind why we are doing the things as we do, so you could have a brain changer to think over. So keep on posting and upload. Good luck, keep on track.